Before we get started, I do want to just let everyone know that this session is being recorded. And if you have any questions throughout the presentation today, since the phone line is muted, please put those in the chat area and we'll answer those as we move along. So again, welcome to our session today. We are excited and are going to get started. Before I go through the agenda with you, I just want to introduce myself, Cheryl Rosenberg. My role here at the virtual high school is a dedicated account manager to our Massachusetts member schools. And I'm going to have Patricia introduce herself as well.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us. I am Patricia DiMaggio, and as Cheryl told you, I'll be co-presenting today. I am the dedicated account manager for our schools in Maine, Vermont, and Rhode Island.
Thank you, Patricia. Okay, we're going to go ahead and get started. The agenda for today is just to give you a little background about the virtual high school, who we are, and how we partner with schools around the world, but specifically in the New England area. VHS is located in Maynard, Massachusetts, so we thought this would be a good opportunity to talk to our New England schools. Then we'll chat with you about the virtual middle school program. And then we want to share with you some showcase stories, success stories of our members, and tell you a little bit about what some of our students are saying about their VHS experience. So to give you a little background about the virtual high school, we were originally created in 1996 from a federal grant from the Department of Education. It was a 5-year grant for research and development for online learning and teaching. Within that 5-year period, our program was free to those schools that participated. But after year 5, there was so much interest in VHS continuing our research and what we do, we formed who we are today. So we're a nonprofit organization, and the reason why we chose to be a nonprofit is because we truly believe in providing quality online education to those schools that we partner with. We have over 600 participating schools worldwide, and as of this past school year, we have over 18,000 student enrollment. The virtual high school mission is to provide social learning opportunities to students and educators to help achieve educational and life skill success. We also offer students access to content that interests and excites them. And we'll address this part of our mission as we talk to you a little bit about the types of courses that we offer to our middle school students. We deliver both enrichment and credit recovery courses for all student needs, and we train teachers to manage an online classroom with our industry-leading professional development. We won't dive too much into today about our teachers and who they are, but VHS does have a collaborative model where we share resources with the schools that we partner with. In turn, schools have the option to train one of their teachers to teach in our program. Those teachers have to go through a 6-week online graduate training course provided by the virtual high school. What makes our program different is that we have smaller class sizes. So VHS has a 1 to 25 student to teacher ratio. Our teachers are driving our courses, they're guiding our students, and they're monitoring progress. So they're facilitating our classrooms, but we require our teachers to log into our courses at least once a day and answer students' questions within 24 hours. What makes our organization different, too, is that we provide flexible options to make each student's experience a successful one. The virtual high school is accredited by the Middle States Commission in Advanced Ed. All of our courses meet the NEA guidelines. If you actually go to their website, we helped create the NEA guidelines for online teaching and learning. Those courses that can be NCAA approved are, and all of our AP courses are College Board approved. We've been around for numerous years, almost 20, and we've been awarded many awards throughout our time as virtual high school. Every year, VHS does benchmarking. One of the reasons why we do this is we want to make sure that we're providing the quality online courses that we're delivering to those schools that we partner with. Some of the results from our benchmarking is that 97% of the members that participate renew their membership with us from year to year. We have an 89% course pass rate, 70% credit recovery pass rate. There are a variety of different ways that the virtual high school can partner with schools that are interested in utilizing our online courses. We have a collaborative model. As I mentioned before, schools are sharing resources with VHS. VHS is sharing resources back. One of the options is to contribute a teacher to the program. The other option is to not contribute a teacher to the program and join VHS as a student-only member. The collaborative model runs throughout the academic year with the fall and spring semester. Schools and parents can partner with us on an individual enrollment. You can simply do that by going through our website and enrolling a student. When schools participate or parents participate with us in this capacity, those students will be supported by a virtual site coordinator here at VHS. We also have flexible enrichment for any middle school student that's looking to take a course throughout the school year. These flexible classes have open enrollment, and students have up to 15 weeks to complete their course. The flexible enrichment is also offered during summer school. We do have summer school offered that is scheduled throughout June and August. So if a student was looking for something more structured than the flexible enrichment, they can participate in our summer school program. The summer school program is similar to the collaborative model, however shorter. It runs on a weekly schedule, and when Patricia talks to you about our course structure and design, she'll elaborate more on what that really looks like. And then we also partner with schools on customized offerings. Customize is customized. So if you're looking to do something specific with our courses or using online learning for your school's strategic initiatives, you can certainly contact us and see how it is VHS might be able to support you in your efforts. This is just a quick snapshot of schools in New England that participate in our program. Just to give you an example of a school that's not actually listed here, how we're partnering with an elementary school in Maine. We often work with organizations that will give grant funding to schools that are looking to do something specific, whether that be in the collaborative model or in a customized solution. Work with some organizations that might help with funding. So in Maine, we work with the Maine Space Grant Consortium, who funded this elementary school that had 6th grade students participating in our mission to the International Space Station, which is a really neat course where students get to explore outer space, get to look at Earth from space, and they used our courses, our technology, and one of our VHS teachers. One of the great things about this particular program is that the school, because this class is rigorous, had a teacher on site working with the students as well. So it was a great opportunity to bring in the online curriculum technology, but also use VHS in a blended capacity. This is just a snapshot of the top gifted and talented courses available, not available, but that students are taking in New England. It's always really interesting to see because it definitely varies from region to region of what top courses are. A lot of students are taking advantage of our online math program, so that's why we'll see geometry at the top and algebra follows towards the end. But there are many schools that are utilizing us for our gifted and talented math program. How middle schools are offering and implementing virtual middle school. So schools are utilizing VHS or virtual middle school online courses to really either supplement what they're currently offering their students for enrichment, or they're utilizing our program for gifted and talented students. One of the key things about implementing any virtual online program for students is really having a support system in place. So one of the things that the VHS recommends is that you have on-site site coordinators really supporting students. They're the students on-ground face-to-face support. VHS provides training to site coordinators, but what they're doing is they're supporting the students, but they're also utilizing our technology in order to look at grades, look at pacing. So they're a very key element and component to offering online courses, especially the middle school students. Another thing, important thing that middle schools are doing when they allow students to take an online course is making sure that teachers are recommending students and that parents are supporting the program and supporting their children. Those are also very key things in making successful online learning for middle school students. So now what I'd like to do is pass the floor over to Patricia. Patricia's going to give you a program overview of what virtual middle school looks like here at the virtual high school.
Thank you, Cheryl. So this is a look at some of our courses. We are talking primarily today about our gifted and talented options, but in addition to the gifted and talented courses that we also offer a number of standard middle school courses. So these courses, which are listed here, business foundations, creative writing, engineering, we have a couple of math classes, study skills, the teenage brain, which is a science class, and World War II through the eyes of Dr. Seuss, which, as you can guess, is a history class that focuses on Dr. Seuss's writings before he was Dr. Seuss. These courses are available and eligible for any students in grades 6 through 8. So in addition to looking for options for your gifted and talented students, these are options for any middle school student. Now getting on to the middle school, the gifted and talented middle school courses. We have here just a list of some of them. We have over 50 courses in our catalog which are designated as appropriate for gifted and talented middle school students. Cheryl showed you a list earlier of some of the top 10. Most of these courses are quite popular with middle school students, and every semester we've got a number of middle school students who sign up for these. If your school doesn't have a quote-unquote gifted and talented program specifically, we do allow the schools to determine whether or not a student would be appropriate for these courses. As long as you feel that this is appropriate for your student and that the student has met the academic prerequisites, the student can sign up for this course. A little bit about the way our courses are structured. The course platform is called Desire to Learn, or Brightspace. That is our learning management system. The classes are scheduled asynchronous, meaning that there is a start date and end date. There are attendance requirements for the student every week. So the teacher might tell them that they have to log in 5 times a week or 4 times a week. But the teacher is never going to tell them on what days they have to log in or at what time. We're working with schools not only in New England, but all around the world. And so we never tell you that the student has to log in at 9 o'clock on Tuesday morning. They can log in whenever you're able to schedule them. And I'm going to talk in a minute or two about how middle schools schedule students for our classes. But they do have the flexibility to log in whenever it is convenient for you and for the student. A little bit more about our courses. Courses are cohort and project based. the student is not operating in a vacuum. They are working with a class of other students and a teacher in the class with them. As Cheryl mentioned earlier, our class size is limited to no more than 25. Our average class size is 21. There is a lot of contact between the teachers and the students throughout the class. So the teacher is always checking in with the students, giving feedback on assignments, answering any questions that the student has. The teacher is required to be there every day, Monday through Friday, and we find most of our teachers go in on the weekend as well. So your student always gets quick answers to questions. In addition to that, all our courses are designed to be quite interactive, so the students get a chance to know each other very well and to work together. And this is done through the use of class discussions, group projects. There are class blogs and class wikis. On a personal note, I'm not only a VHS employee, I'm also a VHS parent. My son is taking a VHS class right now, and he's actually surprised at how quickly he's gotten to know and feel comfortable with all the students in his class. I'm going to talk a little bit about some of the specific courses and a little bit more about how they work. This class, you'll see up at the top says Middle School Space Station Academy. We actually have renamed this recently to be called Science from Space. And this is a gifted and talented middle school course that is open to students in grades 7 through 10. So we developed this in conjunction with a group called CASES, which is the Center for Advancement of Science in Space. And it's intended to be a virtual trip to the International Space Station. So the students learn about space travel, the effects of space on the human body. They learn about climate change by observing Earth from space. It's really a very neat course, and the students who take it are very excited about it. Cheryl talked to you about how we've offered it at an elementary school level in a sort of abridged version, but it is available as a full 15-week science course for gifted and talented middle school students. This is what students see when they log into the course. They are able to see their week laid out for them. This is week 2 of the course, so it's giving them a list of what they're going to cover that week. And one of the things that the students get at the beginning of the week is a checklist of all the assignments that they have to accomplish that week. And you can see up at the top it says International Space Station Mission Checklist. That's going to be their assignments for the week. So when they click on that link, it's going to give them a printable list of everything that they're going to do in that week. This is one of the assignment pages, so it's just showing a little bit of what the students have to do. Mission Control has sent this information for you to explore. So they're going to click on these links, and they're going to read about why space travel is so dangerous, space debris and human spacecraft. I think there was a movie called Gravity that talked about that, but this is actually scientifically accurate. What is a rocket? They're going to learn about spacesuits, and you can see that they can click on this video and they're going to watch a short video. Looks like this astronaut is about to go underwater in his spacesuit. Okay, I'm going to turn the floor back over to Cheryl for a minute so she can talk to you a little bit about some of the schools that are currently using VHS at the middle school level and how that's working for them.
Thank you, Patricia. As Patricia had mentioned, this segment of our presentation today, we're going to talk about showcases. So we're going to share with you some of the feedback that we've heard from our students and then share some success stories about the middle school members that are participating in our program. So I just want to start the session off with a quote from what one of our students has said about our program. Going back to what I had said earlier about benchmarking, so part of that benchmarking process for us is submitting surveys. So we do that with our administrators, but we also survey our students every year so that we can get feedback on their experience as well as the content of our courses. So here, what one student had said, basically everyone treated her like everyone else. One of the great things about an online environment, especially with a middle school student, is that you're not sending them to the high school to sit in a classroom with upperclassmen. They can really break down that barrier of them feeling uncomfortable because they're younger. So now I just want to tell you a little story about one of our member schools, Auburn Middle School. I had a great conversation with them. One of the things as an account manager I like to do is really sit down with our schools, check in with them, really understand how they're offering and why they're offering the virtual middle school program. So the feedback that I got from them is that they offer middle school courses to their 8th grade class. They use the VHS program as part of their Gifted and Talented program. And the way that they implement VHS every year is 7th graders are exiting that grade. What they do is they select students that would be good candidates for VHS as 8th graders. They look at standardized testing scores, identify those that are proficient or advanced, and they also review their eligibility based upon their ELA testing scores. And what happens there is once they look at this data to understand who would be the best candidate for taking an online course, they wind up having about 15 to 20 top students. And once those students are identified, they're given a list of courses, not just the gifted and talented courses, but they're also given the option to take a standard middle school level class, as long as these classes aren't offered in the face-to-face setting. They offer them to their students, and then it's on a first-come, first-served basis on who's able to participate in VHS. Students have 2 to 3 activity periods where they meet for 30 minutes a week to take a VHS course. The rest is done outside of school. Auburn Middle School allows the VHS course as part of the student's transcript. And I think that's a key thing for middle schools to do for their students, is allowing them to get some sort of credit for taking a VHS course. And speaking with the site coordinator and teacher over at Auburn Middle School, he was kind enough to allow me to include his name, and if you'd like his contact information, to chat with him about how they're using VHS and their experience. He's thrilled with the program and is certainly willing to speak with anyone interested in learning more. And this is just another quote about what students say. One course that we developed with the Landmark organization is a class called Study Skills, and it really works and helps students organize their thoughts, how to use time management. It's actually a great class for students to learn how to take an online course. Because when you think about time management, independent course study skills is really a great prep class for that. So this particular student said that they had the opportunity to work with people from different states. So one of the things that VHS offers is this global classroom, which a lot of students really enjoy being able to share thoughts, ideas, experiences, and how students live across the world. Another quote from one of our students said that, "I loved my teacher. She was so enthusiastic." And I feel like sometimes students think that they are going to take an online course. They just log in and have more of a read and write type of online experience. In the virtual high school program, we have this rich interaction between teachers and students, from students to students, and it's one of the things that sometimes surprises students when they take an online class with us, that there is a teacher there. she's excited, or he's excited, to be teaching this class. And the student also had said, similar to the last slide, there are diverse perspectives, and students are learning from each other and sharing thoughts and ideas because of the rich interaction. This is just a quick example of what one student said about this particular class. This is around the world in 80 days. Students are actively engaged in VHS courses. In this particular class, they're asked to create a trip. They're putting together scheduling, flights, taking places to visit, and researching different parts of the world. So a lot of our courses have a lot of rich content in them. They're relatable to real world as well, which really helps engage students in what they're learning. So what I'm going to do now is just pass the floor over to Patricia. She's going to talk to you a little bit about the schools that she supports in both Rhode Island and Vermont. Patricia.
Okay, so I'm starting off with a school in Vermont. This is a school that is K through 8, and they started using virtual high school classes a couple of years ago because they had some students who needed advanced math class, and they didn't want to have to transport the students to the high school, which was some distance away. If you're familiar with Vermont, you know the distances between places. So by using VHS classes for advanced math, they were able to meet the needs of those students without having to run a class for 2 or 3 students who needed those classes, and without having to transport the students off campus to another school. Because they liked VHS after that experience, they decided to make it available to their students in grades 6 through 8. They use teacher recommendations to find students, but any student who is motivated and shows interest in taking the VHS classes is able to take one. They do have a 45-minute elective period at the school every day, so students use that period to work on their VHS classes. The students are able to self-select any course that they want in the VHS catalog. They're not limited to just the middle school courses. They can take the gifted and talented courses as well, as long as they meet the academic requirements. The purpose of the program at the school is to provide enrichment and academic challenge for the students, and the site coordinator has told me that they really feel that the VHS classes help the students to establish good study habits, to work independently, and to own the responsibility of their studies. I'm going to move on to just talk about, this is a spotlight from one of our courses. This course is called the Holocaust, and this is an activity that the students do in week 2 of the class. The focus of the lesson is race and identity. So prior to this assignment, the students read an article about racial identity, and they participate in a class discussion about the many ways that each of us identifies, as a student, as a man, as Asian American, as Caucasian, as whatever. So they talk about that, and then in this assignment, they go to a website where they see the photos that are on the right side of your screen, and they are asked to categorize these 16 people into their racial identity based only on the photograph, only on that person's appearance. And there is a follow-up class discussion where they talk about how effective or ineffective it was to try to determine somebody's identity based only on their appearance. And then they talk about shifting views in society about race and identity. So it's quite a timely course, even though it's talking about something that happened 70 years ago. The next course showcase that I want to talk to you about, this is a standard middle school course. This is our middle school engineering course. And in this assignment, the students are asked to construct a robotic arm, and it must be able to open a door. So they use a variety of household items. Some students used aluminum foil, some used Legos, pipe cleaners, whatever they have around. The teacher provides them with a list of a number of items that they can use. And then once they are able to construct the arm and get it to work, they not only upload a photo of it, but they upload a short video of the arm that they created actually opening the door to prove that it does what they were asked to do. And on the right side of the slide, a teacher in one of the recent classes actually made this collage of all the arms that the students turned in, so you can get an idea of the different variety of arms that the students turned in. The next school that I want to talk to you about is in Rhode Island. This school joined us after their high school had been with us for a couple of years. So they were getting feedback from the teachers and administrators and students at the high school about how well VHS was working at the high school level, and they decided to bring it into their middle school as well. And it's actually in both of the middle schools at this particular district. The way it works at the school is that the coordinator for the program meets at the end of the 6th grade year. She meets with the middle school team, and she asks for recommendations from the team for students who are motivated, kids who are looking for an additional challenge. She does also get recommendations from the teacher, and she also has told me that if a kid comes to her and has not been recommended but really is showing interest in doing VHS, she'll always give that kid an opportunity. She doesn't look at the grades for the students, but she just looks at their interest in doing this. She does have each student submit an essay about why they want to take a VHS course, but she says that this is not meant to measure their academic ability, but just to prove their motivation. She also requires that the parents read and sign a consent form so that they know that the student will be doing this. This is done during their daily elective period, so they are working at it at school, and if they have work left over, they do it at home. They do not include the VHS courses in the student's GPA. These are done for enrichment only, but she feels that by not including it in the student's grade point average, that it will encourage the students to challenge themselves academically and to take a risk, and that's really what she's trying to get them to do. Okay, so moving on to another class. So this is our Latin 1 class, and it is a gifted and talented class. We offer Latin 1 and Latin 2, so 2 full years of the Latin language. This assignment is students were asked to pick an aspect of life in ancient Rome and to create a presentation based on that, that subject. This student created a PowerPoint about the Roman diet. This is only one of her slides. The project was much longer, and she really went into a lot of detail about what poor Romans ate, what slaves ate, what wealthy Romans ate, and she did a comparison compared to the American diet today. So she really did a great job on it. Just going on to, before we wrap up, just to tell you a little more, we got some feedback from this student, and one of the things that she had to say that was very intriguing is that she decided to choose a VHS course because her other option was the study hall, and she hates study hall, so she thought she'd give VHS a try. But she had a great experience. She loved her teacher. I believe she was in the creative writing class. She had a great teacher, and she felt challenged. She was motivated. She loved the course, and she ends by telling us that she likes the course so much that she signed up for some summer classes as well. I want to thank you for joining us today. If you'd like any additional information, please feel free to contact us. You've got our information here. Cheryl is the dedicated account manager for Massachusetts, and I'm the dedicated account manager for Rhode Island, Vermont, and Maine. We hope to hear from you soon. Thanks for your time today. Bye-bye.